Hello there, Civil Opinion here, and bringing you a Football Manager 2017 Manchester United team guide. A lot needs to be done at the club to get it back to its winning ways. As you may have noticed over the past couple of seasons, Manchester United have been struggling a lot. Different managers, problems with different players and tactics, and I'm basically putting out a video so I can try and stop the rot, so to speak, and return the club to winning ways. First of all, I think what needs to be looked at is tactics when you come to a club, because when you come to the club you want to be able to find out who needs to go and who needs to stay in your team. Is there any people that basically need to be cut and transferred out, and is there and who's worth keeping around, and how you're going to build your team around that. And as you can see, I've identified the deadwood in my team before the video. We can see Michael Carrick, who is a good player, but he is very old and he's slow. He's been Manchester United's best option for what he does in the past few seasons, or past quite a few, more than just a few seasons actually. But now he's come to the end of his career. He's earning £80,000 a week, and it's time for him to go. He is the only player, apart from Bastian Schweinsteiger, that does what he does. We have got Schneiderlin, but unfortunately Mr. Schneiderlin gets forward whenever possible, which we really don't want in a player that's got a defend duty. So something I've already done is gone on to my training and trying to get rid of that PPM, because we don't want him to have that, because when he gets forward he's got no good off the ball, he's got crap finishing, he's not that good in the air, he's not really the sort of player I want to be getting forward. He can't even do long shots either. I'd rather he just sits deep and controls things from deep, basically, like what Carrick does. And he's going to be my long-term, excuse me for that, he's going to be my long-term solution for that position. He's not great, he's not the most creative. He's decent. He's good tackling, good sort of ball winning attributes as well. But he's going to do the job for the next couple of years, and then we'll look at someone better. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is, while he's learning that, we're going to have Schweinsteiger, who was in the reserves at the start of the game. And we still are at the start of the game. I've not pressed continue yet. He's going to be doing that job after we've shipped out Carrick. And what we're going to do is going to have someone, I think we'll probably have Herrera covering that. He's not good at marking, but he's got some good creativity, and he's not the worst at tackling or positioning, so he can do that job. He has got that, gets into opposition area, which I really don't want him to have at all. He's got 11 finishing, and he's not in any sort of capacity. I don't want him getting into the box. I want him to stay. If I'm covering for Mata, I'm going to have him on support. If he's down here, he's going to probably be either covering for Pogba or Schweinsteiger. He's going to be my cover player for the time being, and I don't want him to have that. So I think what we'll do is get rid of that, try and get rid of that, gets into opposition area, because a lot of the players at United have got that, and it's not ideal. I always wonder which one to choose, if it really matters. I'm going to go with Joyce and movement training. Try not to, where is it, stop getting in the opposition area. Yeah, thank you. So anyway, back to the Deadwood. Yeah, we're going to get rid of him, and he's already on the list. I don't know if we'll get any money for him. I just want to get rid of him, get him off the wage budget. Next up's Sergio Romero. He's a backup keeper. He's quite new to the club. I think they brought him in last season. Yeah, he got 4 appearances, and if I remember rightly, I watched him. He weren't very good. IRL. He's all right as a backup, but to be honest, David De Gea don't hardly get injured. He hardly gets injured ever, and I intend on using David De Gea whenever possible. And I don't want this guy in goal. Really, I want to get rid of him. Maybe that's the wrong decision, I don't know, but I'd rather have someone from the under-18s who's developing, who's probably got more potential, someone like Seb Towie, or where's the goalkeepers? Selection info, goalkeepers. Johnston, yeah, he's probably got a bit of room to get better a little bit, but he's probably someone we might want to offload eventually. Don't think I want Ihara in there, but long term I think I'm going to keep on Subtawi, and hopefully he gets better. I played with him in Football Manager 2016, and he did get quite decent. Nowhere near De Gea level, but you know, he's all right, and we'll develop him, make some money off him. Because what I think about goalkeepers is, if you ain't played them, they start getting upset, and if they're 29 years old, as Sergio Romero is, he's going to start getting upset, and I just can't be doing with that. I need to get rid of him. I want a player that's happy to be in the under 21s or under 23s as it's called now, and he's happy to just get better and develop and play for the under 21s. This guy, he wants to be playing first team football at this stage of his career. 29 years old. That's the sort of time when a goalkeeper starts peaking. So the game says, and he's not going to get first team football here. So he's going to have to go. Right, go back to that. Ashley Young, 30 years old. Not very quick. He's all right, decent, but technically he's not impressive at all to me. Decent Premier League level, but nothing special. He apparently is better on the left hand side cutting in, and I don't rate him for that. I've got 2 players who are much better at it than him, and that's in Mr. Where are you? Martial, Depay, who's got better dribbling, a little bit quicker. He's got room for development as well. He's much better. And also, of course, Martial cutting in. He's super quick, gets into opposition area, moves into channels. That's what you want. Look at that dribbling as well. He's got a lot of room to develop as well. So he's going to be playing there in that spot, cutting in. And on the right wing, yeah, he could do a job, Ashley Young, but I'd rather play Martial on the left, because he's obviously better than Depay at cutting in and all that, and use Depay on the right hand side, who can come in from the right hand side, cut in from the right hand side as well, but on his stronger foot, his right foot, he's probably better as a winger. He's not got great crossing, but he'll do the job, and he'll be much better than Mr. Young, that's for sure. Fellaini, obviously, he's a liability at the club. He's got a really good potential to be not potential. He could, theoretically go straight in and cover for the likes of Ibrahimovic, because he's got that really good jumping reach, heading. He's got good off the ball. you know, decent, really good teamwork, work rate. He's got all that target man type attributes that you want. Really, the only problem is his finishing's 13, and he can't dribble, and he's pretty slow as well. Even Ibrahimovic is who's what 6 years older than him. He's faster. And you know, Man United, you don't want a forward up front that's only got 13 finishing, and you know he's only got 14 first touch. He's not going to be the option. I've tried to do it before in the past couple of games, 15 and 16, and he don't do the job. But he scores a couple. Don't get me wrong. But he don't get very good ratings. He don't get a lot of goals. Don't get a lot of assists. And you think about where else you're going to play him, and you can't play him at midfield, attacking midfield centre, because you know you've got Mata, and he's way more creative and technically gifted. He's obviously not going to be in the first team in that position either. You look at midfield, centre midfield. You know, he's not a holding midfielder because, yeah, he's got tackling. You know, he's got good ball winning attributes, but he ain't. Look, he's got 12 marking and 13 positioning. That's sort of, you know, League One, Championship level defending. I don't really want that in one of my most important players on the pitch. Most important because he shields the defence in that position. In terms of the other option, which where Pogba will be playing, or alternatively, you could make a case for putting a deep line playmaker in there next to a holding sort of more defensive midfielder. He's not going to do either of them jobs. He can't be box to box because he's slow as fuck. He's not that good at finishing. He's not going to get up and down the park like I want him to in a box to box fashion, and he's just a bit of a liability, I think. I mean, all right, so you could possibly make the argument for having a holding midfielder that sort of controls the game from deep, sort of centre mid defend or deep line playmaker defend, then have a ball winning midfielder next door in the other slot, and then that gives all the more attacking players room to play. Yeah, you could make that argument, and that's something I did actually try in the last season's game, where I had a CMD and a BWMD, and that worked quite well because it gives the AMC a lot of room. But I just don't have faith in this guy. He's great in the air, you know. He's got the right mentality, but he's not got a good personality. Fairly determined, not a good personality. He just doesn't tick my boxes, right? Really, you know, you want him, but you don't want him. You don't really know. It's like that in real life. You don't really know if you want this guy in your team or not, and so you just think, oh, he's a liability, and you can't have that. So he's got to go, and we're gonna make a bit of money out of it, hopefully, because hopefully some other team's deluded enough to take him. He's worth quite a bit of money. Antonio Valencia, he's got a bit of a downgrade this season. Last season he was very physically gifted. He still is physically gifted, but he's got a little bit older. I don't think he's played as much as he used to, and maybe that's hit him a bit. He used to be rapid. He always used to have pretty shit technical ability. Can either play right wing or as a wide right defender. Got good personality, professional personality. But unfortunately, he's just not of the standard that you want in your team in the Premier League if you want to win trophies. He's got all the physicals. You know, he's 15 and 15 acceleration and pace, 13 agility. Yeah, that's good, but it's not great. and I need a great player in the right winger, and I need a great right defender, or one that's more defensively strong. You look at his defensive attributes: 10 marking, 12 positioning. That's not very good. That's League One sort of standard again, and you know his mentals ain't all that as well. Anticipation 10, decisions 10. He's a bit of a liability really. You don't want him in your side anymore. Used to be awesome, don't get me wrong, but he's got to go. 85k a week will be better, but with his wages not being spent on him. Daily Blind, someone else I think we need to get rid of. He's got that ability to be the holding midfielder. That's true, but he's a little bit slow, and I just don't like him. Maybe I'm misguided there, but he's just not doing it for me. Maybe I could keep him on. I don't know, because right now we've got Schweinsteiger, but I just don't think he'll fit. Basically, I've worked it out, and if you put all these players in their positions and then you have any other players left, you'll have 7 subs. So I think we don't want anyone more than that really. We want to have our subs, and we want to have our people that are going to play. Otherwise they're not going to play, and there's no point keeping them about. We get a bit of money for this guy. He's got definitely a good tutor, and there's an argument for keeping him around for that. Chelsea want him. I would love to give them him, but you know he's not that gifted really. He's just sort of average in a lot of areas. He's very good mentally, but he's slow, not very strong, so he's not a great ball winning player. Not got that good aggression. And you know, United have played him at centre back. I mean, I couldn't possibly do that. That's just ridiculous to me. He's not very tall. He's a shorty. He's too slow for a team that plays high defensive line, or should play a high defensive line. He shouldn't be a centre back, and he certainly shouldn't be a left back either. He's way too slow to be a wide player. So he's got to go, in my view. Let me know what you think in the comments, if that's an incorrect call. I think possibly him, and you could probably make an argument for Laney, maybe, if you wanted to go that ball winning midfielder thing. But again, he gets into opposition area. It's not what you want from a defensive ball winner. At least Daily Blind's got that come deep to get ball. The other, yeah, them two, I think you can make an argument, but I just don't like that. Gets into opposition area, and I don't like the liability that he is, and I don't like the sort of liability that Daily Blind is. I mean, of all of them, I think he's the one you could keep about. If you just look at him, he does look decent, but he's just not of the level I want really. When we've got people like Pogba, who's going to be in centre midfield next to a decent holding midfielder. I mean, if you come to think about it though, if you look at Schweinsteiger and then compare, I mean, it might be worth having a look at this actually. Maybe it's Schweinsteiger that needs to go, and Daily Blind can stick about, because they've got the same sort of PPMs which you want in that role. Where is he? Daily Blind. Let's get the old attributes up. And what we want, well, we could say that, yeah, we could have him on deep line, playmaker, defend, and it looks like Schweinsteiger's a little bit better physically, a little bit quicker, a little bit better mentally as well, quite a lot better mentally actually. better positioning, same passing. Not as good at marking though. Although I think positioning is more important than marking for a player in that role. Tackling's the same. Doesn't work as hard. For me, it's important a player works hard in that centre midfield. They've got to be the engine, do all the work, cover for the attacking players. So I think it's quite close. You can see Schweinsteiger is a little bit more technically gifted as well. Quite a bit more. Takes better penalties, better technique. You know, first touch is the same, but you can finish. You can dribble a bit better. Cross, corners, long shots. I think maybe I could keep Blind about, and then, but then where would and then I don't know. Maybe I could have Schneiderlin go out on loan or something. No, I can't because I need him to learn that PPM. I don't know what to do with Schneiderlin because he don't fit. I could use Schneiderlin to cover for Pogba in that box to box sort of role. Maybe that's an idea. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see how we go then with the Mr. Daily Blind, and then let's take him off the list then, because that was possibly a mistake. Transfer listed, no status set. He's not on the list. Juan Mata is going to be a key player, and so now it's about, you know, what formation. I mean, you probably have picked it up already that I'm thinking about a 4-2-3-1. When you're looking at a formation for a team, you want to be looking at who are your key players, how are you going to fit them all in, and how are you going to make sure you're not weak defensively either. You've got to have a balance. You've got to make sure that your key players are playing there. That's the main thing, and they're all in the side, and none of them are, you know, sitting on a bench or whatever, or languishing, not even on the subs bench. And I think 4-2-3-1 is the way to do it. You look at all the other formations. Let's just go through them real quick. The most common ones: 4-4-2. That could work. You could have Zlatan as your target man. You could have Martial as your poacher sort of player. Your quick big man, little man partnership. That you can be the little man. Depay, he could fit on the right wing. He could possibly cover for Martial as well as a striker. Pogba, he doesn't really fit in that because, you know, you want to play in your central midfield in the 4-4-2. You don't want people going forward too much. You don't want them messing about. You want them to hold their position because, you know, your wide players do all the attacking. So Pogba don't fit in that. What's his name? Mkhitaryan. I don't know how to say his name. I think that's how you say it. He could go right wing as well, or left wing. We haven't really got a left winger. That's another problem. So it looks to me like you start thinking, oh well, maybe it could work. Big man, little man partnership with the old Ibra and Martial. But then you look at the other parts of the team, and you're struggling for proper wingers. You're struggling for two decent holding midfielders, one of which is a bit more creative and a little bit more adventurous, a la Scholes and Keane and so on. So that wouldn't really work. And of course you got someone like Luke Shaw at left back who would be just bowling forward when, you know, you start doing that, and you're a bit of a you leave your team wide open, a liability really. In a 4-4-2, you need people to stick to their positions and be defensively disciplined even when they're attacking. Keep your banks of four, and he doesn't do that. He gets forward, runs down the left. He's going to leave gaps down that flank for sure. So 4-4-2, we can disregard that, or let's think about another one. 4-1-2-2-1, or wide 4-3-3 that Barcelona play, for example. So you could have you could have Martial on the left, you could have Depay on the right, you could have Ibra up front, and that's looking good. Let's go to the back, into the midfield. Sorry. Well, you could have Schweinsteiger or whoever's, Blind or whoever in that defensive midfield role. You could have Herrera passing it about, and you could have Pogba or some other player like him getting forward in a sort of a centre mid attack role or box to box. But where's Mata going to fit in? Mata's not going to get in there. He's just going to be useless in that. The thing about Mata is he's not quick, he's very creative, and he's shit at defending. And let's look at him. Very, very good player. Very, very good. But he's not very quick at all, and he can't defend. So when you put him in centre midfield, that's when you start having problems, and you don't want that. You need reliable, more sort of defensively gifted players to get in your centre midfield. I mean, even where is he? Where's Mr. Pogba? Pogba got decent defensive attributes. Not great marking and tackling, but decent. He can do a job defending a little bit. And that's why his best position is centre midfield. And he's not super creative. He's pretty creative, but he's probably better at centre midfield, getting forward. So yeah, Mata wouldn't fit in. So that's one of your key players you can't play. So I think that automatically rules out that formation, really. What else? 4-3-3 with a flat 3 midfield to an AML, AMR and a striker. So that's like that last formation, but with a flat midfield, centre midfield. Again, Mata don't fit in, so disregard that. What else? Well, you use any of them ones with a wing backs and no attacking wide men, then a lot of the players won't fit. And let's be honest, Luke Shaw and who else? Darmian, they're not the greatest really going forward. Only 10 crossing, 10 dribbling there, and 14 and 11. That's not really what you want. He's very good, don't get me wrong, and he gets a lot better. Marking, positioning, tackling gets to about 16, and he's very quick. That makes him one of the best fullbacks in the world eventually. But I don't want to use him as a wing back, especially when I've got players that should be playing in wide positions up higher up the pitch that just aren't playing at all because they can't get in the formation. So stuff like 5-3-2, 4-4-2, narrow diamond don't work. That can't work. 4-4-2, you can make a case for 4-4-2 diamond without, there's not narrow, where you have two, you have ML, MR, DMC and AMC. Where's Pogba going to play? Also, that formation is just a liability in my view, like leaving a massive gap in the centre of the park. I just don't know how you make up for that. I've tried to use it before, and it's terrible defensively, and I struggle defensively with it as well, to be honest. So Pogba wouldn't get in there, so disregard that. And plus, you play anytime you're playing ML and MR, you're not using the inside forwards. So, alright, Martial could play up front with Ibrahimovic, but where's Mkhitaryan and Depay going to go? Are you going to use him? Mkhitaryan, I don't even know. I mean, what's his What's his stronger foot? Does it say? Reports.